In the 1930s, crime had spread all throughout the US. Murders and mafia bosses like Al Capone were as famous as celebrities. The US concluded that a supermax penitentiary was the answer for this, the Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary. Known for its inescapable obstacles, escaping from Alcatraz was essentially unheard of, that is, until a group of thieves pulled off one of America's most notorious escape attempts. In order to fully wrap our heads around this, we need to first go off back into the history of Alcatraz, its living conditions, just how the operation was planned out, executed, and the possible endings these prisoners could have had. Created to house the worst of the worst, Alcatraz was known as a security box, but it was originally known as Isla de los Alcatraces, Island of the Pelicans, by explorer Juan Manuel Ayala. It was later converted into a lighthouse, which was then converted into a Civil War fort used to house imprisoned Confederate soldiers. Because of its known history and difficult landscapes, the U.S. thought it would be a perfect place to host the essential rebirth of the country's reputation. Prison took multiple precautions, and according to an article, Escape from Alcatraz, the prisoners' daily schedule would go something like this. 9:30, they would wake up, have a head count, and a cell checking. Then would report to breakfast in a single file line and eat for usually around 20 minutes. Once finished, the utensils would be counted and the guards would escort inmates to their occupations in either laundry, garden, or tailor work. They would work until a 9:30 curfew. Only 36 people tried to escape from Alcatraz in its 29 years of existence, and no one succeeded. Well, possibly 3. These were Frank Morris, Clarence Allegan, John Allegan, and Allen West. They teamed up to create a plan to escape the dubbed Uncle Sam's Devil Island. Morris, the mastermind of the operation, had first come up with the plan the previous December after coming across some old saw blades. They used stolen spoons and a homemade power drill to dig around the surrounding area of their ventilation grills in their cells and covered up using fake parts of the cell. They gained brushes, paints, and drawing boards by taking up a new hobby each, which was painting. They used the ventilation system as their base of operations and created fake dummy heads to fool the guards. These dummies were made of leftover barbershop hair, toilet paper, concrete, and electrical wire. They then placed them at the heads of their beds to make it seem as if they were soundfully sleeping when in reality they were planning their next moves. Many escapees were foiled by Bay, and Morris and Co. knew this. So they built a raft to guide them to freedom. They used over 50 stolen raincoats, and on June 11th, 1962, the night of the escape, at 9:30, when the lights had come off, the prisoners used their individual tunnels to squeeze through to the utility corridor and plumbing pipes that would then lead them to the roof. Allen West had not gotten his grill completely removed and was left behind. The rest of them made it to the roof, where they ran across, well, essentially army crawled across to avoid the watch light and down a drain pipe. They then climbed over the 12-foot fence that was surrounding the prison and boarded their homemade raft. This is where things got hazy. So you see, according to Allen West, the plan was to go through the Raccoon Strait into Marion County, but not much evidence points that this actually happened. The next morning, guards found dummy heads and realized that the Allegan brothers and Morris were nowhere to be found. The prison went into lockdown and FBI began the investigation. They recovered a packet of letters, paddles made of wood, and bits of rubber inner tube. A homemade life vest was also found on a nearby beach. So where are they now? Well, not much evidence concerns their whereabouts on shore, nor did they drown on the bay. A raft was found on Angel Island and an unidentified body, and there was also rumors of a car theft. The family of the Allegan brothers claimed that they'd actually made it and were hiding out in Brazil. Scientists concluded that after analyzing currents and tides of the night, that they actually could have made it had they left the island between 11:30 to 12 p.m. However, this is very unlikely since a lot of environmental obstacles like freezing water temperatures that would have given them hypothermia in minutes and strong currents could have pulled them out to sea. After a few days, FBI concluded that they probably drowned and declared the case closed. However, they still remain on FBI's most wanted. Alcatraz has since closed down and served as a popular attraction, even served as a film location for a famous movie, Alcatraz Escape, featuring Clint Eastwood. Reviewing our main points, we first started off describing the origins of America's securest and inescapable prison, dove further into its living conditions, and then moved to how Frank Morris and his co-conspirators were able to plan and pull this off. Finally, we circled back to the Alcatraz prison, now a U.S. landmark, and the current news of this chilling vanishing. After all this evidence, what do you think? Could the alien brothers be in Brazil? Could they be at the bottom of the ocean? Who knows?